What if I told you about a career that, on paper, looks like it's completely fading away, but in reality, it's crying out for tens of thousands of new people every single year? It sounds impossible, right? Well, that's exactly the paradox we're digging into today, in a field that, and I'm not exaggerating, literally builds the world around us. So, who are these mystery workers? We're talking about tool and die makers. And you gotta understand, these aren't just machinists. Think of them more like the master artisans of the industrial world. They are the ones who design and build the incredibly precise, custom tools that factories need to mass produce pretty much everything. I mean, seriously, think about it. The door panel on your car, the fork you ate breakfast with, the metal case on your phone. A tool and die maker designed the unique mold, the die, that stamped that object into existence. Without them, mass production just stops. Okay, so if they're that important, what's the problem? Well, this is where it gets weird. If you just look at the official numbers, the data paints a really grim picture. Honestly, you'd probably think this is a career you should avoid at all costs. According to projections, the U.S. job market for these makers is set to shrink by 8.5% over the next decade. You know, a shrinking market is usually a giant red flag for anyone looking for a stable job. And if that number wasn't bad enough, get this. Career Explorer gives the field an F for employability. An F. That's about as bad as it gets. It basically screams, don't even bother. There are no jobs here. This is the story you'll find almost everywhere you look. And to put a fine point on it, that means out of about 63,000 jobs today, the field is expected to have a net loss of around 100 jobs a year. And yeah, part of that is due to automation. So everything so far points to a dying trade, right? But wait. This is where the whole story just completely flips on its head. If you dig just one level deeper, you find something that makes absolutely no sense when compared to everything we've just seen. This is where we find the real paradox. And here it is, in black and white. How can a field lose 100 jobs a year, but at the same time have over 35,000 job openings annually? The math just doesn't add up. It feels like a typo. So here's the secret. The huge number of job openings isn't for new positions. It's to replace an enormous wave of experts who are retiring. An entire generation is leaving the workforce, and there's nobody to fill their shoes. So this isn't a shrinking market. It's a massive replacement market. Okay, so we've figured out there's this huge, kind of hidden opportunity. But is it a good one? Does it pay well? Let's follow the money and see what you can actually earn by stepping into one of these critical roles. And yeah, the financial incentive is definitely there. You're looking at an average starting salary of over $66,000. But once you gain that critical experience and become a senior maker, that jumps to over $84,000 a year. That is a serious reward for mastering a craft. And even if you look at the hourly wages, the numbers are really solid. You're starting out around $25 an hour, and the top folks are pulling in well over 30. So you're on a great financial footing right from the very beginning. And of course, keep in mind these are just averages. Your actual pay can go even higher based on how many years you've got under your belt, where you live. Some states like California tend to pay more, and the specific company you end up working for. So we know the opportunity is real, and it pays well. The obvious next question is, what does it actually take to become a modern tool and die maker and, grab one of these jobs? First things first, this is not your grandfather's machine shop anymore. To succeed today, you have to be a master of both old-school craftsmanship and new-school technology. That means being totally comfortable with computer-controlled CNC machines, being fluent in design software like CAD and CAM, and even knowing your way around 3D printing for making quick prototypes. So what's the roadmap look like? Well, it all starts with a solid foundation, often an apprenticeship, which is amazing because you literally earn money while you learn the trade. From there, you master the hands-on machines. Then, you learn to command the software. And finally, you blend it all together with the one skill no machine can ever replicate: complex, human problem solving. Which brings us to our final, pretty fascinating question. Sure, automation is taking over the simple, repetitive stuff, but it can't replace the creative genius of a master crafter, the person who actually designs and builds the tools that the automation depends on. It really makes you wonder, in this huge rush towards AI and robots, have we forgotten that maybe the most valuable person in the room is the one who builds the machine in the first place?